TillDeathInfo.com.
It's Dr. Roz.
Kill. Some of the stuff that, you know, I don't know, I'm sure some men watch this site. I'm sure it's majority women.
I hope so.
Pardon the Interruption is one of my favorite sports shows to watch. You ever watch it? Comes on 5:30 on ESPN. But I actually like it because during the commercial breaks, Pardon the Interruption, PTI. And they show you some of the things that they talk about when they're off camera.
Oh, if you guys can see what we talk about off camera.
So that's why a lot of times coming back into these videos, we're laughing, whatever. But going right back into what we were talking about, one of the huge questions from the Black Love panel we were on was, what is the difference between marriage and a relationship? Y'all should know by now I'm a big sports person, college basketball, NBA. I'm getting into football. I've never been a big, I've never really been a big football.
Wow, what brought that on? I've never heard you talk about football before.
What brought on that I'm trying to get into football?
Yeah.
I mean, every year I say I'm getting into football, but you know, for some reason, and I know people gonna think I'm bugging, football sometimes, like, I be in it for like the first, you know, I'm in the first half, and then by like the second half, I'm like, yo, somebody don't throw some crazy bad. I get bored.
Yeah,
you know, with basketball,
is
just you back up and forth,
yeah.
And when you're not raised watching a sport, it's kind of hard
to catch
getting
into
it.
Yeah.
So every year I get in a little bit deeper. So I'm in a little bit deeper this year. But it's like I said, it's the difference between college and professional ranks. And you have a lot of people who are great college basketball players, and then they come to the NBA and they do absolutely nothing. They do nothing. I mean, if you know anything about the NBA lottery, the first 13 picks are called lottery picks. And these are supposed to be the 13 best people to select out of this draft. And a lot of times, maybe the average is maybe 6, maybe not even 6, maybe 3 to 4 out of that 13 actually end up becoming great players. And it's the same premise that a relationship can be so good, but then when you get married, even though it's the same relationship, it's just like the ante got raised. So you can't go from a college athlete into an NBA athlete with the same regimen. Like, if you only worked out for an hour in college, well, now you need to work out 2 hours in the pros, because you may have been the fastest player in college, but now you're not the fastest player in the NBA. And the people in the NBA are bigger, you know, they're stronger. And exactly, you have to step your game up, and a lot of times people can't do that. And it goes to show the difference, you know, between the two. You know, so it's the same thing with relationships. With relationships, you know, everything is fun and games. You know, truth be told, if we're dating, I don't care if your dad's alcoholic. I probably met him once.
Yeah, you're not around him,
so
it's not affecting you.
I don't care that he's alcoholic. I don't care that your mama abandoned you. I don't care that your little brother been locked up for 10 years. I don't care about any of those things.
You should care.
I mean, it's sad, but I don't care.
Yeah, but when you're dating, you're not in the mindset of futuristically anyway.
You're right.
For a man, for
women,
we are.
When what she's saying is we should be caring.
Yeah.
Those are things that we should think about. Because at the end of the day, if we get married, your alcoholic dad may come live with us.
Right.
Your little brother who gets out of jail may come live with you. You know.
Or may get you caught up.
Right. And a lot of times people, I've heard women say, especially, you know, come on, Kill, that's too deep, that's too this, that's too that, you know, I'm enjoying him. And I'm saying true, but when you get married, one of the differences is you got to enjoy that family.
Yeah, you inherit that whole family.
You got to go to them reunions. You got to be there when your phone bill come in and all them collect calls from jail. All that, seriously, all the stuff you didn't care about before.
It's now an issue.
It's now an issue, and it's those things that you need to look at. And at the end of the day, especially when having kids, because most people want to raise their kids the way they were raised.
Right.
So if you're not good on compromising those two things, you know, it's a hard issue. But
and then people become offended, you know, because you know, you may make a statement like,
right,
your mama ain't, my kids ain't going to your mama's house.
Right.
And now you just offended your spouse, and it's like, well, what's wrong with my mama?
Right.
Well, what's wrong with your mama? You know, those kind of things. So you just.
But those are the things that we're saying. You have to keep, you know, in mind when you're dating. But that's why the dating game gets different, because I've known people who've been in relationships for 10 plus years and everything's been great. Then they get married and they're divorced in 2. And, you know, you see things like that, you hear about things like that, and it's always like, well, what happened? I don't understand, what changed. And it's like you said, it's called stepping up your game. Like whatever you were doing as a girlfriend, you need to be doing
10
double
times more.
as a wife. Same thing with dudes. Whatever you were doing as a boyfriend, you need to be doing double as a husband. But I think for a lot of men, we come from the situation from where we're asking you to marry you from the way things are right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think men, especially, are very good in change. The thing about marriages, it's a constant renegotiation. It's going to be a constant time. And what happens is, in relationships, there are constant renegotiations, but they usually end up in breakups.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I don't like what you're doing now. You don't like what I'm doing now. Well, cool.
It's
Then
easier to just
we don't
roll
need to
out.
be together no
Yeah.
more, and I'll find somebody else. But now you're in this lifelong commitment of, we're married, I don't like what you're doing, you don't like what I'm doing. But then how do we fix that problem? Because if we really look back on a lot of our relationships, I'm sure a lot of them may have been because somebody cheated or somebody did whatever. And then some relationships just ran its course.
Yeah.
But if you really look back on some of your relationships, if you may have had some, ideas on how to work things out, it may have been able to be worked out.
Yeah.
But then keeping in mind when we're young too, you may just be, I was watching this episode of The Cosby Show, because it's so funny. If y'all can do this,
I love
go back and watch The Cosby Show, because especially if you got kids, because it's totally, growing up, I watched The Cosby Show
from a kid's perspective.
Right, from the kid's perspective, from Theo's perspective. That's how I grew up watching The Cosby Show. And now when I watch it from Bill's perspective. And it's a totally different perspective, to watch it. But I was watching it, and Theo was dating Tanya, and then the chick Randy. And the one thing about The Cosby Show, who did the casting? Because the girls were never really cute on there. Like the chick.
Just me.
No, I'm sorry.
They may be watching.
I'm sorry, but they wasn't. Like this chick Randy,
They
who
were
left Theo a note.
people.
She was not cute. I'm like, I'm not leaving Tanya for Randy. Like, she wasn't even cute. They needed better casting for The Cosby Show. But off on another point, Theo wanted to start dating Randy. So he called his girlfriend Tanya over, and they had a mature discussion. She was like, I see the way you look at Randy. You want to date her? He's like, nah. She's like, come on. He's like, yeah. And then she was able to say, well, yeah, I've been looking at this guy. And it was an amicable breakup.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Good job.
Amicable breakup. And they went their ways, and I was just like, wow, that's good TV. But I think that could be reality. We could do that. We could just be honest.
Got to get the mature people to do it.
Right. And it's just trying to,
So many life lessons in The Cosby Show.
Yeah.
So many life lessons.
Good show.
Great
but
show.
I just think it's one of those things that if, we begin to be honest with one another, and we see where our mistakes were in our relationships, we could have learned to grow from those things. So at the end of the day, that is why marriages and relationships are different. I don't care what your credit score is when I'm just dating you. I don't care really, how you talk to your mom or your dad. Because at the end of the day, truth be told,
so different. Because women, when we're dating you, we think about those things.
Oh
no. Women are looking at how you interact with your mom.
I mean, maybe, but that ain't,
if you don't call your mom for like months, I'm like, what's going on with that family?
I'll say this.
Maybe that was just me.
Women who are responsibly thinking about where can this lead are doing it.
Gotcha.
I don't think the average chick, if we having a good time, because me and my mom don't really talk that much. We may chop it up once a week, and it may be a 5-minute conversation.
Good. Yeah, that's good.
And sometimes I may not call her for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So, and I don't need you eyeing me under the microscope. Like, why you ain't call your mom?
And I like your mom.
So at the end of the day, I just think that, like I said, the women who are thinking for their future, but I think at the end of the day, the majority of people dating men and women is just really about sex. It's like, I just need to get mine. And that's what we're trying to get away from. We're trying to get away from that because...
Kill, I think you said it best at the Black Love Seminar. Yeah, because you that cool dude. But you said, if you want to get married, then stop having sex.
Yeah.
And I think that is like the greatest advice, because it's true. You get to know the person. And if that person can't deal with you not wanting to be with them sexually, then that's not the person for you.
And I think the thing is that at the end of the day, if we're being honest and we look at relationships, prior to me getting married, relationships were about going to the movies, getting something to eat, and having sex. Going to a concert,
so
having
sex. Clean that up.
Yeah. Doing all these things and having sex.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we're really not really getting to know each other, because
movie's not a great date, one, because
you can't talk.
You can't talk for two hours at least.
Dinner after the movies, all we talking about is the movie. And then we going home.
Yeah, when do you get to know the person?
So at the end of the day, and I mean, if people want to be honest, it's sex clouds your judgment. I'm sure for a lot of women, it's this dude is not the right one for me, but I just love having sex with him. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you should cut dude off.
Or you think it's love.
Yeah, you think it's love. Or some women do have common sense and can say, I don't like him. He's wrong for me, but I just can't stop getting it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure for men too, if dudes want to be honest, it's like, yo, she's horrible wifey material, but she's great jump off material. Now the worst part, and I got some homeboys that this has happened to, they done got the jump off pregnant.
See, yeah, because they jumping off a little bit too much in the jump off.
Now now your baby mom is a professional jump off, and who knows who's around your son. Yeah. So at the end of the day, when we say this stuff on panels, and I'm sure when we say it on the videos, people's faces get screwed up. When we get on a panel, we already tell people from the door, you ain't gonna like us. You ain't gonna like what we're gonna have to say.
Honest.
But at the end of the day, there are enough people out here. And I explained this to one of my AmeriCorps members once, who was a virgin, and she was like, "Kill, I really think I'm gonna start having sex." And I was telling her, you don't want to have sex, because all your girlfriends telling you how great sex is, they're not telling you about all the pregnancy scares they had. Yeah. They're not telling you about all the STD doctor visits they had. They're just telling you about the highlights of having sex. And I saw a couple of years later, she's like, "Yo, I'm so happy you told me that," and da-da-da-da-da. And at the end of the day, if we're honest, we can look back and really see where at the end of the day, sex does cloud. It messes things up. Yeah, sometimes it's good, but if you ask the average woman, out of all the sex you've had in your life, has it been more good than bad? I think more women probably say it's been bad. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're looking at it from the sex may have been good, but all the damage that was done to you from it, whether it be diseases or whether it be mentally,
brothers too. If y'all would get honest with yourself,
no, we ain't honest.
Yeah, but if you would,
but we got honest.
But if you got honest,
then it'd be a lot of dudes saying, "Yeah, I wish I never did have sex with her," because them child support payments are killing.
Right, child support payments are a mess, or that oxytocin. That was some stalkerish.
Some oxytocin.
We're gonna do a whole segment on oxytocin because I think it's important.
It is. It's so important.
It's very
I know it is. It's psychology breakdown.
I think we need to educate the people.
We are. But we're just saying in all that when people look at us like we're crazy when we say stop having sex, if you just do a quick run through your brain, it wouldn't sound that crazy. Now
because the truth of the matter is, you done had sex with that one dude, and when it's over, when the little 5 minutes is pushing it. When the little 5 minutes is over, and then he gets up like he don't even know you. It's just not worth it. I mean, it's not worth it.
Or then a dude who give you an hour but treats you like crap.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
So just stop looking at us like we crazy, because y'all know deep down inside
it's the truth.
What we saying is right.
Y'all need to be able to handle the truth.
And that's why y'all asking us, how can I get a man? How do we date? How do we do these things? And we're telling you, and especially the women, I just told Roz, I'll give you the handbook, but you got to do it. It's like going to church. You hear a great message, and you
got to apply it.
Women in church, y'all be clapping up a storm and running around the church and speaking in tongues, and then you go home and don't do what the pastor just said. So, see, now you making fun of people. That's her, guys. That ain't it. So, at the end of the day, that is Rosalind Acre Black. Don't say you sorry.
One of my swords used to do that all the time, and I was like, she is so hilarious doing that.
And y'all both going to hell. So
I just had a patch at the moment. Sorry.
On to so that's it. TillDeathInfo.com. Hit us up with some questions. We're gonna be answering questions next week.
Yeah, next week.
Just wanted to kind of get back in the flow of things. So we a little bit rusty.
We miss you guys, and we love you.
Week back, but give us some questions. tilldeathinfo@gmail.com. It's your man Kill.
And Dr. Ross, please don't judge me for that.
Keep it locked. You're going to hell. It don't matter.